Dr. Tom, I want to come back to something we opened up earlier and didn't end up coming back to, and that's number three, the microbiome. And we talked about before the different ways of testing and how that technology has gotten better over the years. But we wanted to get into what it would be like for somebody if they found out they had dysbiosis and a disrupted microbiome. What would that look like to help rebuild that?
Yeah, well, the first thing is stop throwing gasoline on the fire. That's the most critical component. Stop throwing gasoline on the fire. And well, what does that mean? It means you have to find out what foods you're sensitive to that may be fueling this dysbiosis you have, like gluten or dairy or corn or soy or eggs or whatever it should be. And there's a wheat zoomer, a dairy zoomer, a corn zoomer, a soy zoomer, a lectin zoomer. There's all these tests that have that cutting edge technology now. So you get comprehensive answers to identify that. Once you are clear that you're on the path of identifying and eliminating the gasoline on the fire, that's the first step. That's why so many people get better to a degree just by going gluten free because they stop throwing gasoline on the fire. But they often don't heal completely because you have to deal with the microbiome also. But when you want to address the microbiome directly, there's a number of steps. The first step, feed the good guys in your gut. How do you do that? Those are called prebiotics. Prebiotics are foods that feed the good bacteria in your gut. Mrs. Patient, when you go shopping to buy vegetables, always buy organic. There's many reasons why it's so important, but buy organic if you can. But buy a couple of every root vegetable in the store. Get rutabagas and turnips and parsnips and radishes and carrots and sweet potatoes. Not many white potatoes because they affect your blood sugar a lot, but every root vegetable in the store. And every day you have at least one root vegetable. Well, I don't know what to do with a turnip. Well, neither do I. But what I do is I just dice up a turnip, I slice an onion, peel some garlic, put a little coconut oil in a pan, saute it all up together until it's soft, put a little peanut sauce or red Thai chili sauce, whatever you want on it, and I eat it. Well, what do you do for a rutabaga? I dice it up, slice an onion, peel some garlic, put a little coconut oil in the pan, saute it all up till it's soft, put a little sauce on it, and I eat it. You don't have to be Julia Child here. You just got to get it down, right? And then you'll Google recipes for, and everybody's gone to a restaurant, a fancy restaurant where they shave radishes and they put them on the salad raw, and you have these really thin little bites of radish. Oh, that's pretty good. Whereas if you take a bite of a radish, it's pretty potent, right? But you can shave a little radish and put it on there. The idea here is to have one root vegetable every day. Then, Mrs. Patient, go to that great library in the sky, Google, and type in list of prebiotic foods. Print it out, put it on your refrigerator, and you're going to learn that an onion is a prebiotic, a garlic's prebiotic, a banana is a prebiotic. That you don't need a lot of weird foods like chicory, which is great, but most people don't know what chicory is. And have two from the list and one root vegetable every day without exception. One root vegetable and alternate the root vegetables and two from the list of prebiotics every day. Why? Why do you alternate and don't just eat carrots? Because every root vegetable feeds different families of good bacteria in your gut. And the critical thing you want is the diversity of a healthy microbiome, meaning all of the good guys in abundance. So you want to feed all the good guys: radishes, turnips, parsnips, rutabaga, Jerusalem artichoke, carrots, sweet potatoes. Every day you have one. Next, Mrs. Patient, get 5 different types of fermented vegetables. Get sauerkraut, kimchi, fermented beets, curry flavored, whatever you want. And every day you have a tablespoon of fermented vegetables. You can have more if you want, but every day you have at least a tablespoon. And why? Because when you ferment vegetables, and every vegetable is different, you produce different families of the good bacteria. So by alternating the fermented vegetables you're eating, you're inoculating yourself with lots of the good, friendly bacteria. The science says when you do this, you increase the amount of good bacteria in your diet by 10,000 fold. Not 2 times, not double, not triple, 10,000 times more, just by having a little bit every day. Next, when patients are acute, we give them supplements of prebiotics and probiotics for a couple of months. Mrs. Patient, I don't want you to take this forever, but I do want you to take it for a couple of months. Now, my wife and I take them, we just put them in our smoothie, the prebiotics in our smoothie, and I do it long term, but I'm not asking you to do that just for a couple of months so you can jumpstart while you're changing your lifestyle and eating these foods that will feed good bacteria. You're giving concentrated prebiotics and probiotics right now. Next, there is an enzyme in your gut that arguably is the most important enzyme with the greatest effect on the health of your gut. It's called intestinal alkaline phosphatase, IAP. IAP lowers the amount of bad guys in your gut, raises the environment of good guys in your gut, helps them bind onto the walls of your intestines, and encourages them to colonize. Grabs the toxic stuff called LPS that Fasano says was one of the 2 triggers, along with gluten, as the most powerful causes of permeability, reduces LPS from getting in by 73%, and lowers cholesterol, lowers triglycerides, stabilizes blood sugar. Many different studies on the benefits of IAP. The pectin from apples increases IAP. This is why an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So, Mrs. Patient, when you go shopping for your fruits and vegetables, always buy organic. Get about 10, 15 apples, and important they're organic if they're available, because apples are always on the dirty dozen list of Environmental Working Group as most toxic if they're not organic. But wash them, don't peel them, dice them up, get rid of the seeds, dice them up, put them in a pot. So if the apples are about this high in the pot, add water about 1/3 the height of the apples. Throw a little cinnamon in there, maybe a few raisins if your kids like sweet, they like raisins. Turn it on high. Just let it boil for a good 10 minutes, 12 minutes maybe. Look in the pot. When you see a shine on the skin of the apples, you've released the pectin from the meat and from the underside of the skin. It's the pectin's been released. So now when you eat the applesauce, it's readily available to produce IAP in the small intestine. So after you've cooked it for 10, 12 minutes, there's a shine on the skin of the apples. When it cools off, my wife puts it in a blender, blends it up so it's really smooth like applesauce. And you have a tablespoon, couple tablespoons a day. Well, can I have more? Of course you can have more, but at least a tablespoon or 2 a day. And in the long term, your homemade apple, only homemade, the store-bought stuff doesn't work. Your homemade applesauce is going to help create the positive environment in your gut to create a more powerful, healthy microbiome. Next, Mrs. Patient, there are many, many products out there that really have been shown to help with creating a healthier gut. And lots of good science behind glutamine, vitamin D, fish oils, lots of good products out there like that. Lots of good science. Don't argue with that at all. They're all one note players. Vitamin D turns on genes to heal the gut that glutamine does not. Fish oils turn on genes to heal the gut that vitamin D does not. So it's called a pleiotropic approach. We give patients a pack called GS support packs. GS stands for gluten sensitive. GS support packs. There's 22 nutrients, but it's one pack of 6 pills. Mrs. Patient, can you take one pack a day? Because nobody's going to open up 22 bottles a day, but they'll take one pack. Can you take one pack a day? Yeah, I can. But All of these different nutrients are one note players. There's only one substance that plays the entire symphony, and that's colostrum. Colostrum is nature's way of healing a leaky gut and supporting a diverse, healthy microbiome. The first 3 to 5 days of mother's milk is not milk, it's colostrum. Because colostrum goes down there and it turns the genes on that says, okay, let's close those tight junctions of the leaky gut, because every baby in utero has a severe leaky gut. It's normal when they're inside mom because everything's swimming around in there. There's not as many boundaries. But colostrum says, time to close those tight junctions now. All right, let's get the good guys. Good guys, I want you to dock over here. You lay your foundation over here. And that's what colostrum is doing. So we give our patients colostrum for a couple of months when we're first starting out, excuse me, to jumpstart the system. And there are many good colostrums out there. The one we use, we really like because it's the only one that I know of that comes from grass-fed cows. They're not organic, but they're grass-fed cows, no antibiotics for 30 days before calving. So there's no residue and no growth hormone in them at all. No heavy metals, no toxic chemicals. Every batch is checked for 43 different nutrients. And this colostrum is licensed by 3 different countries in Africa as the treatment of choice that the government pays for when someone's diagnosed with HIV, because it really works to help support the gut. So it's called GS Immuno Restore. It's on our website, but any colostrum is going to be helpful. So to review, root vegetables, download the list of prebiotics, have 1 root vegetable, 2 from the list every day, take a prebiotic supplement for 2 months, fermented vegetables, a tablespoon a day, have a variety in your refrigerator, take a probiotic for a couple of months, make your own applesauce and colostrum. And if you do have leaky gut, if that's confirmed, we also give them the GS support packs for a few months. That is the protocol that we find has helped so many thousands of people. I mean, it works, and it works really well.